Welcome to the Cisco Express Security Architecture Specialization Training, S6 Advanced Threat. This is Module 6 of Cisco's Express Security Architecture Specialization Training for System Engineers. Before beginning this module, please make sure that you've completed A1-S1 through S5, which provide foundational information. At the end of this module, systems engineers should be able to demonstrate knowledge of Cisco's advanced threat solutions, the distinguishing features of each solution, how these solutions work together to provide advanced threat protection. In this course, we will cover what Cisco's advanced threat solutions look like, primary solutions including malware protection, threat analytics, and network analytics. Advanced threat. As a security vendor, Cisco is constantly monitoring the threat landscape and analyzing notable trends in our annual and mid-year security reports. Even just looking back 2 years, the threat landscape has changed dramatically. In 2014, spam decreased in volume, Flash was interacting with JavaScript, and most web exploits were Java-based. Cisco also hadn't seen any major exploit kit players. Unfortunately, the reason spam decreased was because bad actors were implementing a new strategy: snowshoe spam. In 2015, exploits using Java were on the decline. Cisco started seeing Office macro-based attacks again, and the Angler exploit grew exponentially, showing new levels of sophistication in advanced malware. All of these trends show how quickly malware authors are changing their methods. Spam down, spams back up. No exploit kits with unheard of sophistication. Java's a key delivery mechanism. Java's on the decline. It's always changing, and it's changing faster and faster. These days, malware can steal data in a matter of hours. Sophisticated threats like Angler get into the environment and accomplish their mission efficiently. If data can be stolen in hours, can you imagine how much data is lost over, say, a few months? We found that 54% of breaches go undetected for months, and that the average time to discovery is 200 days. With the average cost of a breach being $3.8 million, 200 days to discover is an unacceptable number. Today's threats move too rapidly to give them months in systems undetected. The problem is that most security solutions can't keep up. Adding more to a customer's existing solution introduces operational inefficiencies and creates silos and blind spots in a defense approach. Unfortunately, this lack of visibility leaves networks vulnerable to exploitation and attack. So while a customer might have a great collection of best-of-breed components, making the solutions work for their business becomes overly manual and complicated. Cisco's advanced threat solutions include malware protection, threat analytics, and network analytics, all of which are supported by Cisco's robust management and security intelligence. Cisco's advanced threat solutions increase remediation speed through automation and enable real-time awareness across the entire network. They also increase response time, insight discovery, and management efficiency. This whiteboard provides a simple outline of how Cisco's advanced threat solutions work together. This whiteboard is meant to be illustrative and can be leveraged in customer conversations. In this example, an employee receives an email while connected to the network that contains a link to an unknown file or website. Advanced malware protection, known as AMP, provides best-in-class protection against the latest and emerging threats before, during, and after an attack. AMP defends against threats lurking in emails and downloaded to the network with global threat intelligence. File sandboxing, which gives an IT administrator a contained environment to study the behavior of suspicious files. File reputation, which blocks known malware instantly. Indications of compromise, which correlates file and telemetry events to prioritize high-risk events and potential active breaches. File retrospection, alerting users when a file disposition changes after extended file analysis. And file and device trajectory, which continuously tracks file propagation and device activity for better visibility and a reduction in time required to scope a malware breach. And these are just a select few of AMP's several features, all of which provide visibility into attacks, save IT resources, and cut down the impact of a threat. AMP can be upgraded with AMP Threat Grid, which is the industry's first unified malware analysis and threat intelligence solution. Threat Grid strengthens existing capabilities and infrastructure while delivering proprietary analysis to provide the global and historical context that a security team needs. With CTA, customers get a comprehensive multi-layer approach that begins with Cisco analyzing more than 10 billion web requests daily. The solution finds malicious activity that has bypassed security controls or entered through unmonitored channels and is operating inside an organization's environment, for instance, when the user clicks on a link. CTA monitors web traffic on the network and identifies anomalies, using trust modeling through machine learning, event classification, and relationship modeling to analyze user and device behavior and create a secure baseline of normal activity. Finally, at some point, the same employee will interact with the company's data center, for example, opening an attachment from an email. StealthWatch is able to monitor data between various points of the data center and network, providing unified network visibility, both on-premises and in the cloud, from a single integrated platform with NetFlow monitoring, threat-based anomaly detection, and forensic investigation capabilities, enabling accelerated incident response times. The combined visibility, anomaly detection, and investigative abilities accelerate network troubleshooting and threat mitigation to help customers respond quickly to threats. Today's global community of hackers is creating advanced malware and launching it into organizations through a variety of attack vectors. If a stealthy, malicious file manages to evade an organization's prevention tools, there is little visibility into the activity of threats on the system. This leaves security professionals blind to the scope of a potential compromise and unable to quickly detect malicious behavior and quickly respond, contain, or eliminate malware before it causes significant damage. In order to defend against these threats, organizations require comprehensive security that delivers breach protection, breach detection, and collective intelligence. First, malicious entities must be blocked from getting into the environment. It's the primary line of defense and the cornerstone of traditional security. Next, customers must be able to find and fix known problems and then remediate. Since detection isn't 100% effective, organizations must have methods for detecting entities that get through point-in-time defense. Finally, and most crucial for today's advanced malware, comprehensive security must be able to find active compromises going on that are not known to be malware and would not be recognized by point-in-time engines. Advanced malware knows no boundaries, meaning defenses against it shouldn't either. Cisco Advanced Malware Protection, or AMP, is central to Cisco's before, during, and after story, and there's nothing else like it on the market. AMP goes beyond traditional point-in-time detection to provide the visibility and control a customer needs to stop advanced threats missed by other security layers. AMP is an intelligent, enterprise-class advanced malware analysis and protection product that takes full advantage of big data, continuous analysis, and advanced analytics. While AMP has many features, as shown in the graphic, here are a few features that truly differentiate AMP from other solutions. AMP is constantly updating with global threat intelligence from Talos. During an attack, AMP leverages point-in-time technology like file reputation and dynamic file analysis technology to block known malware, policy-violating file types, and communications trying to infiltrate an organization. AMP also continuously analyzes files and traffic for threats that successfully evaded the first line of defense, making it extremely effective after an attack. AMP provides deep visibility into the activity and behavior of files in an environment, and enables security personnel to rapidly respond and contain a breach with only a few clicks. With AMP constantly searching for indications of compromise, organizations find malware based on activity rather than by file type. And with features like file and device trajectory, an organization can understand exactly how a threat entered the environment, every device that is infected, and the way the threat moved across the network for future hardening and segmentation. Security teams use AMP to detect, track, analyze, control, and block advanced malware outbreaks across a network and endpoints, including PCs, Macs, mobile devices, and virtual systems, and it's easily managed in a web-based console. Cisco Talos Security Intelligence and Research Group, or Talos, is a key part of the security architecture uses to protect against advanced threats. Talos is the largest threat detection network in the world, providing zero-day threat protection to all users wherever they are. Global threat intelligence has 4 main benefits that competitors cannot match. Customer can rest assured, as Talos is a recognized leader in threat detection, with industry-leading threat research that has identified major breaches before anyone else. Talos catches threats computers can't. It is made up of 600-plus highly skilled malware reverse engineers, threat analysts, and zero-day vulnerability research engineers. These analysts are conducting threat engine development and detection research on the largest open-source intelligence network on the planet for endpoint, email, and network-based threats. Customers get unequaled visibility and can tailor threat intelligence to meet their business needs. Talos enables this by processing an unrivaled amount of data, such as 130 billion web requests served by Cloud Web Server per month, 100 terabytes of security intelligence daily, context from 3,400 cloud, web, and email security customers, 4.9 billion AV and web filtering blocks per month, and information on 150 million endpoints. It also monitors 35% of the world's email traffic and operates on all major operating systems and platforms. Finally, with Talos, customers are always up to date. It identifies 50,000 network intrusions per day and improves all our solutions every 3 to 5 minutes through automatic updates, meaning companies are always protected by the latest information. File reputation increases the accuracy of threat detection with big data analytics. AMP's one-to-one engine detects specific instances of malicious software by means of signature-based approaches. Because of our advanced analytics capabilities, Cisco is able to provide far greater breadth of protection with far more responsiveness than competing offerings. The next technology leverages file fingerprint identification to determine and capture a given threat, as well as polymorphic variants of that threat. In contrast to competing offerings, AMP combines large-scale data mining techniques with an extensive automation framework around this technology. This eliminates the slower manual processes of other vendors and provides protection right away. Some vendors rely almost exclusively on signature-based techniques, which work well for identifying known malware. Cisco, however, leverages techniques from statistical machine learning. Going one step further, our large-scale analytics capabilities enables us to construct automated models, optimized for real-world scenarios that distinguish malicious software from benign software. The combination of big data analytics and automated detection enables customers to combat threats as they try and slip past web defenses. Behavioral indications of compromise uses complex behavioral clues, rather than a fingerprint or signature, to identify malware on a network. For example, if an unknown file is admitted into the network, this unknown file copies itself to multiple machines. It then duplicates content from the hard drive. Finally, it sends this duplicate content to an unknown IP address. The individual action of a file being duplicated or sent to an IP address isn't an action that would raise red flags. It happens regularly throughout the course of any given day. But if groups of files are being copied and sent to the same IP address at semi-regular intervals, this might indicate something is going on. AMP is able to recognize patterns and activities of a given file and identify an action to look for across the environment, rather than a file fingerprint or signature. This is far beyond the reach of traditional systems that use point-in-time defense only. As files travel into the environment, file retrospection offers continued protection and monitoring. File retrospection tracks the spread of any file in the environment and monitors the disposition of the file over time. If dynamic malware analysis determines a file to be malicious, file retrospection can instantly identify every instance of the file that is within the environment. File retrospection addresses the problem of malicious files passing through perimeter defenses that are later deemed as a threat. It combats polymorphism, obfuscation, sleep timers, and other highly effective tactics that avoid detection. Device trajectory provides robust time window analysis into system processes to understand root cause history and lineage with the ability to quickly pinpoint the exact cause of compromise. With trajectory, customers will not lose sight of malware, making it the only technology of its kind. Trajectory lets customers determine the scope of an outbreak to be able to track malware or suspicious files across the network and at the system level. Here's an example. The unknown file is transferred to this particular device. The files move around, executing different commands on the device. Device trajectory records those individual actions executed by that file on that particular device. That data is leveraged to trace back the root of the infection and contribute to profiling different malware signatures. Today's malware is dynamic and can enter a network or endpoint through a variety of attack vectors, and once executed on an intended target, typically performs a number of malicious, seemingly benign activities, including downloading additional malware. By leveraging the power of big data analytics, AMP captures and creates a visual map of these file activities, providing visibility of all network, endpoint, and system-level activity, enabling security personnel to quickly locate malware point of entry, propagation, and behavior. This gives them unprecedented visibility into malware attack activity, ultimately bridging the gap from detection to remediation to control of a malware outbreak. This is a key enabler of retrospective security through Cisco. With file trajectory, customers are able to track malware or suspicious files across their network to determine the scope of an outbreak. When unknown files enter the network, the file fingerprints are recorded and sent to Talos, where the disposition is determined. No matter where a file goes, Next-Gen IPS records who sent it, when they sent it, and who it was sent to next, all the while keeping the file linked to its original point of entry. These contiguous paths are analyzed to quickly determine the scope of exposure to files based on time, method, and point of entry, all without the need to scan or snapshot endpoints. If Sandbox Analytics in the cloud determines that a file is malicious, all devices are alerted and the infection is instantly understood and contained. If there are potentially dangerous files that have not been encountered previously, AMP uploads their file signatures to AMP Dynamic Malware Analysis. Once there, the cloud automatically isolates the file in a virtual sandbox and executes the file to determine its disposition in two different ways. The dynamic analysis engine acts as a sort of second opinion or consultation. Files that have been analyzed by all other engines and still have a disposition of unknown can be sent automatically to the dynamic analysis engine for sandbox analysis. By fully analyzing file behavior in a sandbox environment, a threat score from 1 to 100 is calculated and returned within minutes so that customers can automate responses and have detailed analysis for deeper investigation. The advanced analytics engine is powered by the threat intelligence received from Talos and the AMP community. As a result, new threats can be identified by analyzing global trends. Advanced analytics works in tandem with information from one-to-one signature, fuzzy fingerprinting, and machine learning, and combines that information with context from the global AMP community to order to identify new malware. Dynamic malware analysis is key to finding new threats in today's ever-changing threat landscape. ThreatGrid is a robust sandboxing platform that integrates malware analysis and threat intelligence. It draws on the Cisco components already in place and provides a common analysis engine across all of them. Combining proprietary analysis technology with secure cloud-based capabilities, it analyzes all of that data, identifies key indicators of malicious behavior, and provides the global and historical context needed to take action. ThreatGrid enables customers to upload a sample through our portal or via our API for proprietary analysis of the sample, an automated process that allows for a large volume of samples to be analyzed by static and dynamic methods quickly. Through an outside-in approach to analysis, at large scale and volume, the end result is enriched content that enables faster, more informed decision-making. ThreatGrid observes all the network traffic generated by a potential malware sample, all of the changes to the local host, and all the processes it's executing. ThreatGrid will take any sample a customer submits, including executable files, PDFs, documents, and URLs. It runs both static and dynamic analysis on a sample to understand exactly how it behaves. All of this is done in near real time. Instead of taking hours, weeks, we can provide answers in minutes and with full global and historical context around it. Cisco performs 6 to 10 million analyses per month, all sourced from our global community. We generate a threat score for every sample or artifact to assess how malicious it is. This is done by analyzing more than 425 plus behavioral indicators defined by our reverse engineering and threat research team. These indicators aren't signatures or known hallmarks of a previously identified attack. They are detailed descriptions of the actual behavior exhibited, including identifying what a particular sample was attempting to do. With robust, rapid analysis, ThreatGrid provides the quick answers customers need to make quick decisions about unknown files in their environment, catching advanced threats before they can cause too much damage. Advanced malware protection is subscription-based, managed through a web-based management console, and deployed on a variety of platforms, so customers have a wide selection when finding the best AMP solution for their organization. AMP closely integrates with Cisco's email security appliance, web security appliance, and cloud web security. Its capabilities can be turned on with any of these solutions to provide retrospective capabilities and malware analysis. Next, customers can choose an AMP for Networks deployment. AMP as a network-based solution integrates into Cisco Firepower Next-Gen IPS security appliances. AMP is also available on ASA with Firepower services, so customers can deploy AMP capabilities integrated into the Cisco ASA firewall. Customers can also deploy AMP capabilities on the Cisco Integrated Service Router to combat network-based threats. With AMP for Endpoints, customers can protect PCs running Windows, Macs, Android mobile devices, Linux, and virtual environments using AMP's lightweight connector, ensuring no performance impact on users. AMP for Private Cloud can be deployed as an on-premises, air-gapped solution built specifically for organizations with high privacy requirements that restrict using a public cloud for disposition lookups. Finally, AMP ThreatGrid is a standalone malware analysis and threat intelligence product that can be deployed in the cloud or as an on-premises application. ThreatGrid threat intelligence and advanced malware analysis capabilities are also built into the other AMP deployments in varying capacities. Generally, these deployments models are available by subscription in 1, 3, and 5-year terms. Attackers are no longer motivated by notoriety, but more typically economic or political gain. With significant financial investments for successful attacks, cybercriminals today have become more sophisticated and clandestine. Last year, 89% of breaches had a financial or espionage motive. Targeted attacks are on the rise, and cybercriminals launch their campaigns through a variety of vectors. They can serve up malvertising and deploy exploit kits that install rootkits, or they can establish a botnet presence within an organization's infrastructure. Cybercriminals are more proficient at discreetly exploiting gaps in security and using new techniques to conceal malicious activity. Once they establish a foothold, more than 90% of their threats use the web for command and control communications and to exfiltrate sensitive information. From 10 billion requests per day down to 1 to 50,000 incidents, Cognitive Threat Analytics, or CTA, can comb through big data in near real time. This means a customer not only gets the visibility they need, they get it when they need it. When searching for malicious web activity, the CTA engine needs to have both recall and precision capabilities. For this reason, a layered approach is used, starting with recall, then moving towards precision along the layers of detection. The entire CTA system is self-learning and autonomously builds and maintains unique, customer-specific models. In brief, anomaly detection and trust modeling let a customer focus on the 1% of requests that actually matter. Using event classification and entity modeling, customers can then find out what type of threat it is and where it is on their system. Finally, using relationship modeling, a user can understand if a threat is a one-off attack or part of a larger global campaign. In the first layer of CTA, anomaly detection employs statistical machine learning methods in order to separate the statistically normal traffic from anomalous traffic. 40-plus individual detectors process every HTTP or HTTPS request in the network. Typically, the anomaly detection layer processes 10 billion or more requests per day. Each request is processed by all 40-plus detectors, and each detector applies a different statistical algorithm. Once the requests are processed, each detector provides an anomaly score, expressed as a number from 0 to 1, where 1 means highly anomalous. The individual scores combine and produce one single score per individual request by again applying multiple statistical methods. The aggregate score is then used to separate normal and anomalous traffic. The anomaly detection layer was designed to be a dynamic ensemble of specialized statistical detectors. The approach is based on the assumption of algorithm independence. Each algorithm has a certain probability of classifying a normal flow as anomalous, generating a false positive. However, the probability that two or more independent algorithms would err on the same flow is significantly lower. Using multiple detectors increases the statistical significance of the overall anomaly score by reducing the number of false negatives and false positives. The trust modeling feature groups similar requests together and aggregates the anomaly score for those groups as a long-term average. CTA creates an n-dimensional space from common properties of web flows. Requests carrying anomaly scores are mapped to a particular location in the space based on the request's properties. Similar-looking flows create clusters. The overall anomaly of each cluster is represented as an average of the individual request's anomaly scores. Over time, more requests are mapped to the space to produce a long-term average anomaly score for each cluster and reduce false positives and false negatives. For example, if there are 6,000 similar anomalous requests and request 6001 is considered normal, the cluster will maintain an average score of anomalous because all other similar requests were also seen as anomalous. Clusters with anomaly scores above a certain threshold move on to the next layer of processing. This threshold is determined dynamically by the system and typically results in about 1% of traffic continuing on to the next steps. As mentioned, the results of trust modeling are used to select a small subset of traffic. This statistically anomalous subset is classified into 100 or more categories. Most classifiers are based on individual behavior or group relationships, or behavior on a global or local scale, while others can be very specific. For example, a classifier may indicate command and control traffic, a suspicious extension, or a legitimate software update. The output of this phase is a set of classified anomalous events with security relevance. If the amount of evidence supporting the malicious hypothesis about a specific entity exceeds the significance threshold, a threat is created. The classified events that contributed to the threat creation are linked to that threat and become part of a long-term, discrete model of the entity. As evidence accumulates over time, the system creates new threats when the significance threshold is reached. This threshold is dynamic and intelligently adjusts based on threat risk level and other factors. The threat is then visible and available via the Structure Threat Information Expression API and trusted automated exchange of indicator information, including post-threat creation activities of the suspected hosts. The previous layers are capable of detecting both known and unknown threats. The goal of relationship modeling is to associate threats to known malware campaigns in order to separate them from unknown threats that require different investigation and incident response processes. The system uses relationship modeling so that it can identify that several independent threat actors use identical or similar malware components and is able to distinguish between them. In this example, at Company A, 2 incidents of threat type 1 are attributed to the same attack node. The attack node is either a domain or IP address. These 2 incidents are linked based on the local behavioral similarity of the threats. At Company B, an incident of threat type 1 is attributed to a different attack node. This incident is linked to the incidents at Company A based on global behavioral similarity. At Company C is threat type 2. Because this incident is behaviorally similar to the incidents seen in Companies A and B, they are linked. It can be extrapolated that they share threat infrastructure because similarly behaving threats came from different attack nodes. To summarize, relationship modeling is based on the behavioral similarity of incidents. The CTA license terms are available in 1, 3, and 5-year subscriptions as a simple add-on to Cisco's Cloud Web Security appliance, or as part of Cisco's Cloud Security Premium. It can also be purchased as a standalone solution that can analyze third-party proxy logs. CTA is for customers looking for a solution that can handle the massive amount of data flowing in and out of their companies and will give them a comprehensive look at all threats confirmed and detected on the network. Attackers are becoming increasingly stealthy in their strategies. Because companies are investing more in perimeter defenses, they have less visibility inside their network. When the network is fairly flat or not properly segmented, it is easy for attackers to find what they need. With lateral movement of advanced persistent threats, even external attacks eventually become internal threats. In 93% of data breaches, compromise occurred in minutes or less. This small time frame puts pressure on IT departments to invest in solutions that prevent and stop malware before it has a chance to do any damage. Additionally, 99% of malware hashes are only seen for 58 seconds or less, and most malware is only seen once. This reflects how quickly hackers are modifying their code to avoid detection. Finally, 50% of exploitations happen between 10 and 100 days after the vulnerability is published, with a median of 30 days. Vulnerabilities need to be patched as soon as possible to minimize the impact of the breach. Over the last several years, there have been many high-profile data breaches, and the techniques those adversaries use are becoming more and more sophisticated. In order to deal with these challenges, customers need to look at security models holistically and gain visibility across the entire attack continuum. In today's threat landscape, full of advanced malware and zero-day attacks, point-in-time technology does not work and instead adds complexity to the problem. Cisco StealthWatch enhances visibility across the entire business by leveraging the existing network infrastructure and by integrating with other Cisco security solutions. Through this integration, customers can gain enhanced segmentation, threat detection, and forensic capabilities across extending networks, branches, data centers, and the cloud. StealthWatch works with proxy servers, endpoints, policy and access engines, and has traffic segmentation capabilities to make the most out of the network. As companies grow and expand their network, StealthWatch can scale to accommodate changes. Organizations can gain visibility into all these tools and resources through Cisco's unified management consoles. StealthWatch also integrates with existing technologies, such as Identity Services Engine, or ISE, and TrustSec. Thanks to this, customers can simplify segmentation throughout the network, get real-time feedback on who's requesting access to which information, and identify anomalous behavior quickly. Moreover, StealthWatch is supported by Cisco Customer Success, providing services, training, and support to help maximize the value from the solution. The StealthWatch solution enables network analytics by conducting sophisticated, proprietary analytics on network data to automatically detect abnormal behaviors that could signify an attack. StealthWatch leverages the network to deliver macro-level network visibility and security analytics to defend enterprises against advanced cyber threats. From real-time threat detection to post-incident responses, the solution delivers context-aware security to enable a rapid and continuous response to today's top threats. The comprehensive platform allows organizations to monitor, detect, analyze, and respond to threats. Customers can obtain comprehensive visibility and real-time awareness into all aspects of their network. They can also leverage anomaly detection and analytics to detect behaviors linked to advanced threats. Next, they can collect and analyze holistic network audit trails to achieve faster root cause analysis. And finally, they can increase their responsiveness by accelerating troubleshooting and taking action to quarantine through Cisco's Identity Services Engine, or ISE. StealthWatch enables IT and security administrators to have a complete picture of everything happening on the network, making it easier to investigate and mitigate anomalous behavior that could signify an advanced threat. StealthWatch is purpose-built to aggregate and normalize massive amounts of NetFlow data, and then apply security analytics to detect malicious and suspicious network traffic patterns, as presented through the StealthWatch Management Console. It can identify a wide range of attacks, including malware attacks, network issues, distributed denial of service attacks, APTs, and insider threats. StealthWatch collects and analyzes network telemetry, such as flow, including NetFlow, S-Flow, J-Flow, and more, from existing routers, switches, and firewalls to monitor network and user behavior. At the heart of the StealthWatch system is the Flow Collector. The Flow Collector receives flow data from network infrastructure and stores it in a local database. StealthWatch enriches flow data with identity, events, and applications to create context of the who, what, where, and why of all threats and data within a network. It delivers macro-level network visibility and creates user, device, and application context, improving security analytics to defend enterprises against advanced cyber threats. This gives the customer control of their security strategy with improved user experience for detection, investigation, and reporting. From real-time threat detection to post-incident responses, StealthWatch delivers context-aware security to enable rapid and continuous response to today's top threats. While most security technologies focus on bad communications going to and from their network to the outside, StealthWatch protects the network from the inside out, also detecting suspicious communications within the network itself. This monitoring of lateral, east-west traffic is critical for identifying insider threats, as well as tracking the spread of external attacks throughout the network to determine who's been infected. The StealthWatch Flow Collector monitors, analyzes, separates, categorizes, and stores information from each flow, allowing it to create a baseline of typical expected network activity. If unusual activity occurs, which deviates from the learned baseline, the Flow Collector immediately sends an alarm to the StealthWatch Management Console with the contextual information necessary for the appropriate IT personnel to isolate the root cause and take quick, decisive action. The Flow Collector can identify and alert on known or unknown attacks, internal misuse, or even misconfigured network devices, regardless of packet encryption or fragmentation. StealthWatch brings together the vast amounts of telemetry and context data from all security appliances to detect anomalies and focus security efforts. It correlates all network traffic, creating a complete picture of network activity and in-depth security context for improved situational awareness. This added layer of visibility includes applications, devices, and user identity to dramatically improve security, troubleshooting, and compliance. With all this visibility and sophisticated behavioral analytics, StealthWatch generates threat intelligence that quickly pinpoints threats like APTs, insider threats, DDoS, and zero-day malware. This enables more effective forensic investigation, so security teams can better understand exactly what happened and how far the infection has spread. With real-time situational awareness of all users, devices, and traffic on the network, customers will be better equipped to monitor their environment, detect threats, analyze breach methods, and respond faster than ever. A StealthWatch deployment consists of various appliances and licenses, some of which are mandatory and others that are optional, that when working together provide a powerful solution. Every deployment must include at least one StealthWatch Management Console, a Flow Collector, and a Flow Collection license. A Flow license is required to aggregate flows at the StealthWatch Management Console. Flow licenses also define the volume of flows per second that may be collected. Licenses may be combined in any permutation to achieve the desired level of flow capacity. Now that the module is complete, know that Cisco Advanced Malware Protection prevents breaches by continuously monitoring, detecting, and removing malware. Cisco Threat Analytics enables companies to comb through data in near real time, providing the visibility to customers when and where they need it. Cisco StealthWatch simplifies segmentation throughout the network, providing real-time feedback and identifying anomalous behavior quickly. Thank you. The next module you will take is A4S7, Threat-Centric Solutions.